Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be answering a viewer question, and it's taken me a while to get to it. I haven't made a video for my private channel in quite a while. I have obviously regularly been making the videos for the We Are Freedom Fighters channel my days every Wednesday. So my Wednesday Warriors videos are religiously done, but I haven't had time for much else. My life is just very busy. But I did get a really good question. I wanted to touch on it because I think it's a question probably a lot of people have. So I'm going to read you the message from the viewer and then get into my thoughts on that. Basically, she says she's had an eating disorder for quite a while, though she's only just begun to recognize it for what it is. She's 18 in her final year of high school and about to go off to university. She said she's only just discovered how bad it is, and she's attempted recovery time and time again, but always on her own, and she says that she keeps failing. She said she just keeps getting sucked in even farther than she was before, and she's talking about how she's lost a lot of weight. Basically, she says, I'm so frustrated with this awful place I'm at in my life, and all I want is to be normal when I go off to university, or at least getting more normal. The problem is that I don't think I can do it without treatment, and I definitely can't ask for treatment, because every time I talk to my mother about my issues, she either yells at me, passes it off as me looking for attention, or tells me all I have to do is choose to eat the foods I've stopped eating, which she thinks is due to my veganism. The funny thing is that my veganism is actually due to my eating disorder. Anyway, she has expressed to me that she thinks people with eating disorders are crazy and selfish and self-loathing, and that she can't respect them because they don't respect themselves. So basically, whenever I'm at my worst, through her concern, she makes me feel even worse. She also compulsively comments on what I'm eating and how much there is, and it can go both ways. Once when I was trying to eat some toast, she said, "That's a lot of peanut butter." Of course, that made me unable to eat it. So basically, I'm begging you to tell me how I can possibly make her understand. How can I make her see that I'm not crazy? I'm suffering. I am not selfish. The eating disorder is. That I'm only self-loathing because I physically cannot show my self-respect without her help, and that I don't choose not to eat pasta and bread and fat. I actually cannot. As I said, I think this is a question probably a lot of people have, especially teenagers. The first thing I want to say may not be what a lot of people want to hear, but it needs to be said. You may never be able to make her understand. It would be wonderful and beautiful and super helpful if we could find a way to make the people in our lives understand. Understand the eating disorder, understand why we feel the way we feel, understand that we are good people who are just struggling with something that is sometimes bigger than us. But we can't always make them understand, and I think the sooner we can accept that it may be out of our control, the better we will be able to handle the situations that come our way. It's a very difficult situation when it's someone living in the house and you're under their roof and you really don't have a way of getting away because you are dependent. And I realize that to a certain extent, you may need that person's help to get you the help that you need, but your hands are not always as tied as you may think. As far as this particular viewer is concerned, you mentioned that you're going to be going away to university very soon. Once there are counseling centers. It's part of your tuition. If you're going to be a full-time student, it's covered. Your family never knows that you're using the counseling services. They're not free exactly, but they're part of what's already paid as your student tuition and your student fees. So I would utilize them. Some counseling centers are very, very good. Some are not the best, but regardless, going to a counseling center, having a few sessions, maybe even going regularly is better than you just going through the motions on your own if you feel that you do need more help beyond yourself. The other thing is counselors at a university can probably direct you to other people from whom you can get help. Obviously, some of those professionals will cost money, or insurance would have to be involved, and then your mom would have to know. Um, this is sort of all steering around the bigger issue of you wanting your mother to understand and to accept you and to help you and support you. I'm suggesting things, ways for you to get help if you can't make her understand and you can't get her support. There may not be a way for her to be supportive. She may fail at that. She may not want to put in the effort. She may not be able to try due to her own issues or reasons. And you can't take that on yourself. And just because you can't get her support doesn't mean that you can't get the help that you need. There are always ways. There are always people who will help you. People like me who are doing these YouTube videos, people who are advocates, people who are professionals. Your university is going to be a really good starting point for that. I realize that you still might have a few months to wait in order to get that kind of help, but it's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's something that I really don't think you should knock until you try it. There are some videos that I've done in the past that may be helpful for you to show someone who is a family member or a friend who doesn't understand what it is that you're going through and who also doesn't understand what helpful support really is. I did a video called Helpful Support quite a while ago. I'm going to post the link to that. I also did a video about advice for a friend of an eating disorder sufferer. I think that one's really good as well with some information. I'm going to post the link to that. I did some videos regarding parents. I will post those links in the info box as well. This is such an issue, and I know it can be so difficult and so taxing to keep trying day after day to make someone understand, especially because it's someone that you really care about and who you know really cares about you too, but may be saying some very hurtful things. There's no way to just make that feel better. I wish there was a way that I could help specifically with that. It may just come down to acceptance. But there are some things in the videos that I'm going to post those links to in the info box that may sort of help direct you or direct that person. Maybe if you want to send someone in your life an email with the links to those videos and sort of show them, this is what I want to tell you about my eating disorder, or this is what I need from you, or this is what I need from people in my life, maybe if you don't want to pinpoint and target them. This is sort of a scary step for some people, but oftentimes getting your general doctor involved can be helpful. All doctors are different. But the next time you go for an appointment or a physical, or maybe even just making an appointment before you go off to college, just under the guise or for the purpose of just having a regular appointment made, when you're in there by yourself, say to the doctor that you're struggling with an eating disorder and that you really need help for your mom to understand. A lot of the time, doctors will take that very seriously. They want to get the parents involved and they want the parents to understand. The doctor can then maybe talk to your mom alone or with you then in the room, and sometimes hearing it from another person besides you is enough to make parents stop and think, this is a serious issue and this does warrant my help, and my daughter isn't selfish and my daughter isn't a bad person because she's struggling with these things. A lot of the time it takes a third party coming in there, giving their professional opinion or their professional advice. The other thing a doctor can do is refer you and your mother to a therapist, an eating disorder specialist, other professionals that aren't just general practitioners that can help both of you with your respective problems. Again, your mom is going to have to be willing to a certain extent, but at least one, you can say that you've done all you could by approaching someone else and trying to get your mom involved that way. And two, it will be something else in the back of her mind that shows her that it's not just you. that someone else does really feel that you need help and that you are a good person who's just struggling. And even if she passes it off, even if she gets angry, even if her demeanor doesn't change, it's still going to be there in the back of her head, and she still may think about that for hours, for days, for weeks after, even if her behavior towards you doesn't seem that it's changed. I think planting that seed is really important, and while it may not seem to do anything initially, it does serve a purpose. There is a stage of denial for many parents when it comes to eating disorders and getting their children help. Especially, I think, when their children are nearing adulthood. So keep in mind that your mom may just need time, and it's hard to be patient with someone else when you're trying at the same time to be patient with yourself. But I think exploring all the avenues at your fingertips is a really good start. And it sounds like you're very proactive, and it sounds like you really want recovery, and you're fully admitting that you need more help than what you can give yourself on your own. And there are ways for you to get that with or without your mom's help. But I think the desire to make her understand is very important and very key. And obviously, if you can get that support and understanding, it will be great. Even if she never understands, if she can support in a better way, that will obviously be very helpful too. Don't sell yourself short. There are other resources available to you. I think what helps sometimes is sitting down and just making a list in a notebook and just heading that list with the question, what can I do from here? And then jotting down every single thing that comes to mind, the smallest of options, the largest of options, things that you don't even know if they are feasible, but may be feasible, and not letting yourself stop that list until you have 20 things. It's a really helpful tool. I know it sounds a little ridiculous. I know it sounds really hard, especially when you can maybe only think of 4 other things you can try. But I think if you really push yourself to come up with all the options and then sort of figure out how you can go about exploring them, you'll feel more in control, first of all. And you also may think of some things that you don't have in your head right now, and that's really good as well. I wish you a lot of luck with this for anyone else who's struggling with this issue. And I hope you will keep asking questions that you feel are relevant, and I will try to get to them as soon as I possibly can.